Welcome to Tzu Chi This Week. I'm Siri Su. Thank you for joining us. We learn about how long-term use of over-the-counter painkillers may increase the risk of kidney problems. An elementary school in Malaysia holds a speech contest to evaluate how students have learned Jing Si Aphorisms. And we look at how residents in Malaysia, both young and old alike, are helping to recycle in their communities. TIMA members and Tzu Chi volunteers in Taiwan have been holding free clinics for solitary seniors in Sanzi Shimen Township every month. Besides checking on the living condition of the seniors, they also ensure they're taking their medication properly. Through home visits, many volunteers discovered that company and compassion is what these seniors need the most.
对，他在这边等了。你等我过来啊。
Just like waiting for her own daughter to return home, we can tell from Mrs. Zhang Yin's laughter that she is in a good mood. However, no one would have imagined that in the past, she always complained about how miserable her life was.
We told her, "We're coming to see you, you shouldn't cry, otherwise we won't come in the future." Now she has become more optimistic.
Over the past 5 years, Huang Lishan and her husband have been driving TIMA daughters to Shimen Township to check on the health of local seniors. She also noted each senior's living condition, allowing her to develop a friendship with the elderly.
We may write down everything on this notebook if we have interactions with them. When we saw her foreign caregivers wrapping the dumplings, we asked her whether she still remembered how to wrap the dumplings, since we had taught her on our last visit. We had some simple interactions with her.
Pharmacist Lin Lilin used to have a pessimistic attitude towards her life, as she hated to see people suffering. But this home visit alongside Tzu Chi has changed her thoughts.
The reason why you feel dizzy is because you didn't accompany her to take a walk. You should tell her, I love you. Elderly people usually need someone to talk to them and accompany them. This will allow them to know that someone is caring for them.
Seeing this senior smile also makes volunteers happy. Through these care visits, they have learned a lot from the elderly.
These seniors are not necessarily troubled by finances, as some simply need the company of others. If we have time, we should accompany our family more often.
It is very convenient for people in Taiwan to buy painkillers, so people often buy the medicine instead of seeing the doctor when they experience pain. But they don't realize that a long-term use of painkiller could damage their kidneys.
48-year-old Mr. Huang has been taking cough syrup for a long time, but he also has the history of gout. When the gout caused him pain several months ago, he went to buy painkiller at a drugstore, but then he noticed he could not urinate. It was then found out he had kidney failure.
I had a stomach ache, so I came to the emergency room and had my blood checked. Then I noticed the figure had passed 10.2 milligrams per deciliter.
There are 3 types of painkiller. What Huang used is called NSAID, non-steroid anti-inflammatory drug, which can cause the worst damage to the kidney. Because he also used the cough syrup that contained acetaminophen, all these combined cause serious damage to his kidneys.
The NSAID can reduce blood supplies to the kidneys and cause acute kidney injuries. When the kidneys filter less, they will produce less urine, which will cause the toxins to increase in our body. When combined with other painkillers, they will be more toxic than the painkillers.
After the doctor treated him immediately, Huang's kidneys can function normally again. The doctor wants to remind the public not to overuse the cough syrup or painkiller, and not to take several types of painkillers altogether. If they find the pain has been persisting for a long period of time, they must see the doctor to find the cause.
In Indonesia, when an earthquake struck Badan in 2009, Tzu Chi volunteers provided help and therefore inspired many locals to join their ranks. Today, we meet one such volunteer. She originally helped Tzu Chi with rice distributions, and now she even goes to the hospital to help those in need.
There was a strong earthquake in Bandung that year, and Tzu Chi came to give out rice. My friend was in charge of Tzu Chi Bandung office, so he invited me to distribute rice in villages affected by the quake. Afterwards, I participated in other events too.
Compassion and chance encounter opened the door for her to do good deeds, but she still didn't dare to go to the hospital to console patients.
It was very painful for me to see patients in so much pain, so I didn't dare to go to the hospital to offer help. But after I joined Tzu Chi, I gained courage and am now able to console patients.
From home visitations, free clinics, to consulting hospital visits, she began to shoulder more and more responsibilities, and her love also broadened. After her husband died, she inherited his dying wish. With support from her family, Jing Si determination remains the same.
The kids are very supportive. They like me doing good deeds, especially my husband was very supportive.
We are very supportive of her. After my father-in-law died, she became fully devoted to doing Tzu Chi's work. She has different activities every day. They make her busy every day, but she enjoys doing them a lot. We are very supportive of her.
Jing Si seems to be smiling all the time. It shows her love has reached a state of perfection.
Also in Bandung, Indonesia, a girl named Nasiwa had experienced trouble breathing since she was born. Her parents had taken her to see many doctors to no avail. Fortunately, Tzu Chi volunteers provided financial support to this family, and a few months later, the girl's conditions improved.
Ever since Nasiwa was born, she had been having problems breathing. She had 2 surgeries, leading the family to shoulder heavy medical fees.
Her illness would block her trachea, so she couldn't breathe normally.
Tzu Chi volunteers held a free clinic at a police station last year. It was a coincidence that Nasiwa's father was a policeman there. This led him to ask Tzu Chi for help, and soon the volunteers went to visit his family.
We were very grateful and happy because we had taken her to many places, but it didn't seem to work, and it made us feel despair. Tzu Chi volunteers' help has brought us much positive energy.
Tzu Chi started providing financial help from October last year, and it has reduced the family's burden. With 4 treatments every week, the girl's condition has greatly improved.
I do sense her improvement. It is a great help. She has improved a lot.
Now 6 years old, Nasiwa can communicate with other people. Visits by Tzu Chi volunteers will make the bonds between them even stronger.
In Taiwan, there's a special street in Jiayi's Daling where financial support from residents has this dark street to be illuminated at night. Instead of taking credit for this contribution, these donors simply ask Jing Si Aphorisms to be shown on the light poles.
It is very common to see a streetlight every few meters, but in Darling, streetlights can be infrequent. Fortunately, financial support from donors has led to more streetlights, which are attributed to Jing Si Aphorisms instead of the names of donors.
Dami North Road is an important street in Dalian because it leads people to other places, but along the street is very empty because there isn't one single shop in sight. Before the street lights were erected, the street was completely dark at night, and many traffic accidents happened there. After the lights were erected, there have been fewer traffic accidents.
The supporters of these streetlights list Jing Si Aphorisms instead of their names, as they hope the aphorisms can light up people's hearts. Each streetlight has a special way to report malfunctions.
People can either take a photo of the lights or scan its QR code to report its malfunction.
There are over 10,000 streetlights in Dalian, and so far over 400 of them have been supported by donors. The cost of supporting one streetlight is 1,000 NT dollars a year, so we hope more people can pitch in.
As the sky turns dark, the streetlights are turned on and people are able to safely return to their cozy homes.
In Selangor of Malaysia, Batang Kali Elementary School recently held a Jing Si Aphorisms speech contest. The contestants are asked to improvise their speeches, showing how they have learned Jing Si Aphorisms. Many students say that after learning these words of wisdom, they have applied the lessons in daily life. Now they're seizing this opportunity to share what they have learned. The topics of all the speeches are Jing Si Aphorisms. At Batang Kali Elementary School, a speech contest is held to evaluate how students have learned Jing Si Aphorisms.
In preparing for the contest, they calm their minds to think and reflect it upon themselves.
The contestants improvised their speeches, showing how they have understood Jing Si Aphorisms.
I was a bit nervous at the beginning because the teacher asked me to do some research and I did not know how. With the teacher's encouragement, I tried doing research and found what I needed. Look at the positive side and do not retreat.
One Jing Si aphorism says, with faith, determination, and courage, nothing is impossible. It changed me a lot. Back in 1st and 2nd grade, I did not have the courage and confidence to join contests. After learning of this Jing Si aphorism, I started joining contests in 3rd grade.
One Jing Si aphorism says, one who is humble won't hit the door frame. It changed me. In the past, I did not like to apologize. After learning this Jing Si aphorism, I thought, why am I so stubborn? So I tried changing myself. In the past, when I joined contests, only a few people came to support me. Now the entire class is here.
The simple words of wisdom are practical for the teachers and students. In addition, they found the school has become more harmonious.
When they argued, I would tell them to learn to be agreeable and humble. Then they would say, don't ever get into a fight. I find this to be very practical. I do not need to lecture them. Just remind them and they will apologize.
While benefiting from these words of wisdom, the students also sharing Jing Si aphorisms through delivering their speeches. Promoting environmental protection should start from childhood. In Jiangsu's Kunshan, Tzu Chi volunteers visited a school campus to discuss the global warming crisis. And at Xiamen's Xiang'an First Experimental Elementary School, a special graduation trip was arranged by a Tzu Chi office to teach students how to better love the earth.
Xiang'an First Experimental Elementary School celebrates spring vacation with the help of a local Tzu Chi office in Xiamen, which taught them about environmental protection. Through this video, children learn about those who are starving as they learn not to waste food.
I think that we get something which we don't deserve because of others who did a great job, as we should be grateful.
I feel they are poor. I just want all the food that I got to go to them.
Learning to treasure the Earth's resources as well as learning common manners are taught to these 5th and 6th grade students. They're expected to master these lessons before their graduation, which will be part of their lifetime of knowledge.
This is a rare opportunity for students to learn and practice, as these lessons don't come from any book.
Kunshan Tzu Chi volunteers visit Yuanbo Elementary School to promote the concept of environmental protection. Teaching these children popular slogans help them remember key principles of recycling. The vice principal of the school is also very interested in watching students participate in this lesson about how to recycle resources. A number of students also demonstrate how they reused materials to make pots for plants and other decorations, as everyone is looking forward to their next meeting, where they can once again learn more about how to express their love of the earth.
In our next story, we'll visit Malaysia and see how local residents, both young and old alike, are helping to recycle in their community. We'll join a class of middle school students who made a field trip to their local recycling station in Kuala Lumpur. But first, we'll meet a 48-year-old man who stops by the recycling station before heading to work every morning.
他们忙的时候我就来咯。
Every morning before heading off to work, 48-year-old Chow Fok Hung stops by the local recycling station to help carry recyclables.
他不错了，他比因为他有在做工嘛，生意自己生意啊，又可以这样来做啊，不简单啊。
我们每天来，每天看到他。佩服，因为他不嫌肮脏。
不简单的任务。
Loading the recyclables, he is working up a sweat, but keeps a smile on his face.
Working hard is better than not doing anything. I'll tell you, sister, it's my earnest wish to work and help. Even until my last breath, it's my aspiration.
Young students from a nearby middle school are also doing their part to help out recycling. They have come with their teacher to the recycling station in Kuala Lumpur.
Before coming here, I thought that maybe recycling wasn't that important, but after coming here, I realized how important recycling is. It is not only important for us humans, but also for the animals. They are really in trouble and we can help.
The teachers are raising the students' awareness of environmental issues. The teacher and students also assist with the sorting to leave a strong impression.
The bottles all have a triangular recycling sign to label them, and that there are numbers 1, 2, or 6. I never knew about this, but after recycling today, things are more clear and I can understand recycling better.
After a trip to the recycling station, these students are more aware of how important recycling is.
Next, we meet recycling volunteer Guo Guichun and hear her story. After marriage, Guo found out her husband was a big-time gambler and did not put in much effort into their family, leaving her to take care of their 3 children. Having to make money to support the family and take care of everybody, the pressure would get to Guo and she would take out her frustrations on her children. It was only when she started doing recycling at Tzu Chi that she learned to let go of her anger and repent her wrongdoing. Let's learn about her life philosophy right now.
The debts you are willing to pay back, it can be discounted by 20%. If you don't want to pay it back, often the interest is much too heavy. Before I was married, I felt my big family was perfect. I lived a good life. I was well loved. After marriage, bad things kept happening. I couldn't handle his gambling addiction. When the husband doesn't contribute to his family, the wife's burden is greater. My children have also suffered along with me. It was really bad. I'd punish him by having him kneel on bottle caps and canes. Thinking back on those days, I can't face what I was feeling then. You have to take the good with the bad. Without difficulties in life, you don't know what your blessings are. Everyone has security cameras installed, but really, it is not necessary. Life has its own security camera that tracks our movements 24 hours a day without fail. We really shouldn't think that we can do whatever we want without people watching us. It's all marked down in our life. We can't avoid it. Thankfully, I joined Tzu Chi. Otherwise, my life would have been worse. When we're happy, our bacteria becomes happy, so subconsciously we are making probiotics. It's just my theory. I don't know if it's right.
所以讲做环保会生益生菌啊。
In our next report, we meet a 74-year-old recycling volunteer from Malacca, Malaysia. Mrs. Ong Kim started to do recycling 8 years ago after her son suggested she repay society through recycling. Despite her poor health, she persists in collecting recyclables every morning. With this mission in her life, she not only donates her recyclables to Tzu Chi, but she can also improve her health. Here's more.
As this gray-haired senior limp when she walks, many residents think she scavenges for a living, but she actually collects recyclables to do recycling.
A Malaysian woman who drove a pretty car wanted to give me $12, but I told her I didn't want her money because I would give these recyclables to those in need.
74-year-old Mrs. Ong not only suffers from mobility issues, but she is also troubled by poor health.
I have stomach and liver problems. I am currently taking the medication to control my liver disease.
Inspired by her son, Mrs. Ong persists in doing good deeds by donating recyclables to Tzu Chi, despite her poor health condition and other people's prejudice.
He said I could only earn a little money per kilogram if I sold the recyclables. It would be even better if I donated them to Tzu Chi.
I told her she could do good by collecting recyclables. Now she gets used to collecting recyclables every day. She may feel uncomfortable if she doesn't go outside for one day.
She goes outside to collect recyclables every morning. Seeing that she is very devoted, I usually bring my recyclables to her.
After doing recycling for 8 years, Mrs. Ong's health condition has improved gradually.
We should walk and exercise so that we will sweat. If we sit all day, we may suffer from some health problems.
Her health condition has improved dramatically. In the past, she had to go to the hospital every month, but now she just needs to go there once every 3 months or 6 months. By doing recycling, her health condition has gotten much better than before.
Doing recycling can not only help save our planet, but it can also help keep one physically and mentally healthy.
In Australia, team of volunteers in Perth hold a large-scale free dental clinic every half a year. They recently held their 7th large-scale free dental clinic with nearly 150 volunteers serving 97 patients. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for joining us. See you next week.